Hello everyone, good morning and happy Holi to everyone.
Good morning.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, audible.
Hi Abdul, happy Holi.
Happy Holi.
Okay, so I think in the last lecture we have covered some Selenium basic like how to get the title, how to hit the URL, how to maximize the Chrome window. So these are the some basics. So today we will be going to see some methods like click method, send keys method, and what are locators in Selenium. Okay, so before that, if I open any website and if I right click, I want to see what is the HTML code for this website. I want to know what is the HTML code for this website. So I will right click and click on inspect. So this is the HTML code. Okay. So for every website the process will be right click and click on inspect. And after that, if I take any one line, if I see this line or so if you see any HTML code, you will see the line in this fashion only. So there is some.
Yeah, hi Sumit. I can't see your screen.
Is it for everyone?
Yeah, now it is showing. It's not showing. Before that, it was showing. Yeah.
Okay, now if if some issue came in written, please let me know so that I will check. Okay. So I hope as of now it is visible.
Yeah, it is
Now
visible
it's
now.
visible. Please continue. Thank you.
Okay. So I was talking about like this Amazon website. If you want to see what is the HTML code for any website, just right click and click on inspect. So you will see some code like this. So for every website, the step will be same. So I was talking about like suppose this is one HTML line, right? So we have to see some terminology like always the first whatever the name you will see, it is called as the tag name. So this is our tag name. Always the first word you will see after the less than bracket will be tag name, and From after that, whatever the element you will see on the left hand side is called as the attribute. Like so, for making any button, they have defined id attribute so that you can identify it uniquely. Like similarly, what is class? On the left hand side, whatever you will see is the attribute. Similarly, name is a attribute. Similarly, this autofocus is an attribute. Whatever you will see after first name, this is our tag name. ID is attribute. Class name autofocus is an attribute. And what is this? This means it is the end of tag name, because whenever you in HTML, whenever you will add end any tag name, you have to provide forward slash and then write the tag name. So this is how the hierarchy is. And what are the things on the right hand side? These are the value of class attribute. This xyz is the value of name attribute. This none is the attribute of autofocus, right? So this is randomly I have written, so it might not be have any meaning. So for from the understanding purpose I have written this, right? If you see now here, if you see this line, what is div is a tag name, class is a attribute, and this is a attribute value, right? So forget about this as of now, we will discuss later, right? So like if I take one more example, if I take this example or this one, what is div? It is a tag name, class is a attribute, on the left hand side. This right hand side is the value of the class attribute. Again, id is a attribute. This is the value of id attribute, right? So this is, you should know that what is class and attribute in the HTML code. I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, if you see, if you want to perform any operation, like if I remove this, if I want to click on this search button, right? So it will basically search a data which I will enter here. So if I want to click this button, we can have many methods. Like we have one method which is click method, right? So if I right click, okay, sorry, yeah. So basically, if you see anything like this flag, Indian flag, it is a web element. Whatever you will see on the website is nothing but a web element. All these links are the web element. Like if I come down, this is again a web element. This button is also a web element, right? And if you see, this image is also a web element. This text box is also a web element. So everything on the website is nothing but web element. Now to this text box web element, I want to enter some data, like I want to enter watches. So how you can do that? How you can perform this operation? So basically, in Selenium, you are having one concept of locators. So basically, locators will help you to perform any operation on uh, on web element. Web element means all the elements present on the web page. So it can be anything. So we will discuss what are locators. So let us discuss what are the types of locator we are having in Selenium. Right. So if I write, so first is id locator, second is class name, third is name, fourth is link text, fifth is partial link text, sixth is tag name. So these are the everywhere you will find that they have written this. So basically all these locators are available in this version. What is the latest stable version of Selenium? It is this one. So how I am saying that it is the stable version? If you go to their official website, so we are working with Java. For Java, this is the stable version, right? And this is the latest version they have released. So we are working on this latest version. So in this latest version, you will be able to see all the you will be able to see all these locator. But if I talk about this version, this is the latest version they have released. So in this version, right, you will find all the locator. You will find all the locators. Along with that, there are some relative locator. So what are the relative locators? We will discuss this at the end, not now. So this is Selenium 4 feature. So we will discuss it later, right? So just consider these one as of now. So we will start one by one, starting from ID, class name, right? And let me try to explain one more concept. If you see the HTML code, basically we have to understand what is the parent, who is the parent, and who is the child. So see the HTML code, right click, inspect, and suppose I want to see what is the HTML code of this text box, right? Only for this text box I wanted to highlight what is the HTML code. So how you will do? Just click this, select an element, left click one time, move your mouse to this text box, left click one time. So this highlighted line you will see is the ID, right? So you can see the type they have given is text, as this is a text box, and this is the ID, this is the value name, autocomplete, so many fields are there. So after that, like if I want to know what is the HTML code for this Indian flag, I want to know what is the HTML code. So click this, left click one time, and just click this, left click one time. So this is the HTML code of this Indian flag. So if you see, if I consider this line, span class equals to navline 2. If I minimize it, you will see these two will disappear, right? You can see here. If I minimize it, but if I maximize, again these two will appear, right? If I minimize it, this will disappear. So we can conclude that as on minimizing this, these two are disappearing, which means all the two span tag, this is a tag, span is a tag, span is a tag, so two span tag. So I can conclude both the span tags are the children of this one, this line. Why I am saying that these two are the children? Because on minimizing this, both of the span tags are disappearing, right? So this is nothing but the parent and child. So this is a parent and this is a child. Like if I take some other example, consider this line, this line. If you see, if I maximize it, 1, 2, 3, total 3 div tags are coming, and if I minimize it, all the 3 are disappearing. but these two are remaining constant. So I'm talking about this one. So I can conclude that what is the parent of this line? This is the parent of this line. What is the parent of this second line? This is the parent of second line. What is the parent of third line? So this line is the parent of third line, right? Because if I minimize it, you will see it will disappear. So this is how you have to identify what is the parent and what is the child. Are you able to get this, guys?
Yes, Sumit.
So another way to identify what is the parent and the child is, so I am talking about second way. If you are confusing in the first way, the second way is like, suppose I want to know what is the parent of this particular line in which my mouse is there. I want to know what is the parent. So you will go from bottom to top, and whenever you will find first downward arrow, that will be parent. So if you see, I want to know what is the parent, so I will go from bottom to top. So I will go from here, bottom to top, and whenever I will find first downward arrow, that will be the parent. So here you have to find the first downward arrow. Like similarly, if I take some other example, if I see this line, not this one, this is little bit complex. So see, if I want to know what is the HTML code of this, I will click this, right? So this is the HTML code. Now I want to know what is the parent of this line. What is the parent? I will go from bottom to top. Whenever I will find first downward arrow, that will be the parent. Because if I minimize it, you will see all this data will disappear. All this script tag anchor. This is called as the anchor tag A. This is also a tag A. All this will disappear if I minimize it. You can see all these things are present inside this. And if I want to find what is the parent of this line, what is the parent of this line, go from bottom to top, and whenever you will find first downward arrow, that will be the parent. So for this line, this is the parent, because if I minimize it, this will disappear. You can see it will disappear, right? And similarly for this line, what is the parent? First downward arrow, bottom to top, this is the parent, because if I minimize it, this will disappear, right? And similarly for these three, you can see this is the parent, because if I minimize it, it will disappear, right? And similarly if I take this one, you can take any one, like if you want to see what is the parent of this line, what is the parent of this line, go from bottom to top. Whenever you will find first downward arrow, consider that as the parent. So bottom to top, so this is the first downward arrow, which means that is the parent, right? You can see it will disappear if I minimize it. So this is how you have to identify the parent and the child. I hope it is clear to everyone. So we will see other things. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So let me open this website, or let me open Amazon website. Okay, so as this whatever the elements you are seeing on your web page is a web element. So if I want to enter some data here, I want to enter watches. So this is how I am doing manually. But with the help of Selenium, how you have to do? First, the first step is right click the web page, see the HTML code by clicking on inspect, and once you will get the whole web page HTML code, I am interested in this text box. So click this and click it here. left click, right? So whatever the highlighted line you will see here, this is the highlighted line. This is our HTML code. Now, how many types of locator we are having? We are having ID, class name, link text, XPath, right? So we will start with ID. So if you see, if you find this attribute, here I am calling it as attribute. So if you find any attribute with ID, you can use ID locator, right? So it might happen that this ID locator will not be present for all web element. Here it is present, so I am using it. So what I can do, I can copy this value. First copy the value, and after that do one more thing, Control F. So once you will press Control F here, paste the ID. Why I am pasting this ID? Because it might happen that two web element, like suppose there is one more text box, suppose. So it might be the chance that they can have the same ID. But I am interested in working in only first one. So I am just checking that whether it is unique. Right? You can say one out of one element is matching. One out of one element is matching, which means only one element with this ID is present on this web page. So I can use this ID value, and I will come to my Eclipse editor. Right, so these lines will be common. Here I am just opening Amazon homepage, and after that this driver object will give me one method, which is I will write I want to find the element with the help of driver object. I will say driver dot I want to find the element. So this is one method, find element. So which means it will identify your text box. So I am saying find the element, and inside that I will use one by class. So this is a class, and it will have some static method. As it is having some static method, I will not create the object of this. I will directly call the method present inside by class. So by dot, with the help of, I am using ID locator as of now. So I will say ID. So this is a method, and inside this in double quote I will provide my ID value. And after that, after providing this, I will say dot I want to send some data. So in Selenium, for sending some data, this is one method, which is sendKeys. So whatever the string you will pass, like if I say washing machine, whatever the string you will pass here, whatever the string you will pass here, that will be run into that will be put into the text box. So this is the text box. With the help of this ID, we are identifying the text box, and after that, sendKeys is a method. It is a method that will help us to enter some data into our text box. So if I run this program, let us see what it will do. So it should enter washing machine. You can see it has entered the washing machine, but this time through the automation code. So this is nothing but our ID locator. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So let me comment this, or let me just write after that. So we have discussed ID locator, and we have discussed one method, which is sendKeys method. Whenever you will find any text box, you can use this sendKeys method to send some data. And this is the method we have discussed. And there is one more method, which is click method. Like this is a button, right? So if this is a button, as it is a button, we have to click the button. We do not have to send some text into the button, right? So for every button we have to click it. So if I just see what is the HTML code of this button, so you can see ID is given again, right? If ID is not given, we have to use some other locator, but here ID is given. Or let me do one thing, Okay, ID is given. Okay, so let me take ID this time again. So copy the ID and let me first control F and search the ID whether only one ID is present with this name. So only one ID. If one out of two is present, then you have to choose such a way that it will identify only one element. So control C, I will copy this ID, and after entering the washing machine, I want to click on the button. So again same step, driver dot find the element. How you want to find the element? By the help of, so by is a class, by dot this time again ID, by dot ID, provide ID name, and after that, as it is a button, I will use dot click method. So click is basically a method given by the Selenium so that we can click on any particular button or the link, you can say. So if I run this, after entering the washing machine, it will also search the data. So let us see how it is working. So you can see it has entered washing machine, and after that it has clicked on search button. So this is how you can use click method as well to click on any link or button. So the second method we are using is click. Okay, so let us discuss this name and class name. So these two methods are clear to everyone.
Yes.
So let me search whether, so if you see this URL, let me let you open the URL directly. Okay, so this is the URL, and let me comment this. I want to enter some data into the text box. So I think this text box is expecting email ID or a number, right? So if I inspect this, so what is the first step? Just right click, click on inspect. You will see the HTML code. Select this, click on this. So this is the HTML code. So here again you can use ID, but let us discuss some other locator. Here you can see name locator, name attribute is also present. Name attribute is also present, so we can use this name locator. So I will copy this first email, control F. I will search whether only one email is, so you can see again this time total 6 elements are matching. Let me check what are those. 1 2 3 4 5 6. But if you see, name is unique. Why I am saying this? Because in this web page, right here you can see half of the text is matching, right? But in this web page, I think no other attribute name with the same email value. You can check. So you can see 4 5, sorry, you can see again some text is present, but exact text is not present with the name attribute, right? So you can see. So now what I can conclude, I can use name attribute. Here I am getting email here as well, but it is of type. I am not getting name equals to email in some other place. So I am going to use this email. So as it is a name, so there is one more locator. Just suppose the ID is not present this time. So you can say driver dot find the element, same line, by the help of this time name. So this is a method, provide the name here, and after that you can say send keys dot send keys. If I write like some number, right, and if I run this program, let us see whether it will enter or not. So you can see it as enter the particular number. So same method will be applicable for all the locator, XPath, CSS, again same method, but this will change. So again, it will, you can also use click method. If that is a button, you can use click method, same method will be applicable. But here, as it is a text box, you can use a sendKeys method. So this is our name locator. And if I talk about one more locator, if I click this, I want to suppose click on continue button. So you can see there is one class given, right? ID is given, you can use ID. Here you can see name is not given, but class is given, right? So I can also use this class. First I will search whether only one class is present with this particular name. So only one text is present, only one class is present with this particular name. You can see 1 out of 1. So I can use this, and if I use this, I will copy this class value, and after entering the number, I can use other locator, driver dot find element by the help of, this time we are using class name as our locator. So provide the class value. This is the class value, and after that I will say dot click method, right? And if I run this program, so first it will enter the number, and after that it will click the continue button. So let us see. So button, it will enter, and after that it will click on continue button. So as of now I provided some random number, so it is giving this error. But if you provide some correct number, it will navigate to the next page. So this is our uh, class name locator. So we have discussed ID, class name, and name. So these three are clear to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let me open one website. So if I open this URL, so as of now my browser is opening in the minimized mode. So if I want my browser that every time it will run in maximize mode, so I can use one method. So one line I can use, which is this driver object will give me one method which is manage, right? And the return type is options, right? So this is an interface. Anyways, so after you will get this manage, you will get one more method which is window, and after that I want to maximize it. So I will set one more method which is maximize. So if I run this, now you will see Chrome will open in maximized mode. So we will see when we will run our program. So okay, so this is the simple statement you have to give, and as you can see this Facebook page, if you want to enter some data, how you can do that? Just right click and right, so this is the HTML code. So if you want to see the HTML code of this, so just click this. You can see class is present, name is present, ID is present. So you can do the similar way sendKeys method to enter some data. Like suppose if I want to click this, if you see inspect the if you see the HTML code of this forgotten password. So here if you see, this is the line, right? It is highlighting. Here one tag is present, sorry, attribute is present, which is href. So it is not a locator in Selenium. You can see neither neither id, neither name locator, neither name value, class name value is not present, but only anchor tag a. So this is called as the anchor tag. So whenever you want to see, if someone asks you that how you can identify a link, just say that whenever you will find any anchor tag a and after that href, right, you can conclude that that is a link, right? So I am saying it is a link because I am finding this anchor tag. So now I want to click on this forgotten password. So how I can do that? So if id is available, I can do that easily. If name is available or class name, I can do in the similar way using click method. But here all these are not present, but only this attribute value is present, right? And this is the text. This is the text of our link, which is present, which is visible here. So I will use this visible text to click on this link. So for that we are having two locator, which is link text and the partial link text. So let us see how we can use this. So I will first copy the link text. After opening the Facebook URL, I will copy this, and here I will use driver dot find the element by the help of, this time I will use id or name is not present, so I will use link text. This is a method, provide the complete link text. This is the link text, and after that I will use dot click method. So the method will be same because I want to click on the link. So this is a click method. So if I run this, so you can see it has clicked on the uh, forgotten link. So this is our link text. If you want to click with the help of link text, you can use link text attribute as the, sorry, link text locator as your locator. Is it clear to everyone?
Yeah. So Sumit, link text will also be one of the IDs we can find using the that fql method on any web page.
Which one?
Inspect link text is also another locator which we can find on any web page using this fql method.
Which method? F.
This method, yeah, after we do fql to see
Yeah,
all this
yeah. You can use
uh,
FQL. That
like
is same. That is
thing,
same.
right?
Yeah, you can use.
So it
You
will be
can.
there along with any other like ID, class, name, or anything. Link text will be there, right?
Link. Sometimes link text will be if it is a link, then the link text will be available. Because
Okay.
if you see this, if you see this is not a link, right? So here you are not going to use link text, right? This is a button.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I open, please put yourself on mute. So we have discussed link text. Uh, just suppose if you see the link text is very small here. Sometimes you will see the link, big links. So the link text will be like this. Like just assume, I am saying just assume. Forgotten password, please enter your correct username password. So if I copy this, right, just suppose instead of this one, this is our complete link text. Complete. Assume just. But if you just suppose it is very big, so it is not a good way to copy paste the complete link text. It will not look good. So to deal with that, we can use one more, which is partial link text. So what I can do, driver dot find element by dot with the help of by the help of link text is one, and the second is partial link text. So I can provide, like suppose as of now we are not having this much, we are having this much, right? So I can remove some data here from here. Like if I want to shorten the link text, I can remove this. I can also remove this one, and from the end. So from the before and after, I can remove some data. Sorry, not from here, not from between, but from the end and the first. So if I do this, and if I paste the same here, now then also it will be able to identify with the help of partial link text. And if I comment this, so which means you can use this partial link text when the text of the link is very much long, like this, right? Here it is not the case, but you will be able to find many cases where the link text is very much big. So in that case you can use partial link text. So let us see whether it is clicking or not. So this time Chrome will open in maximize mode, and it has clicked on forgotten account link, right? Similarly, if you want to also do also make it much shorter, remove these two, or you can remove these two, then also it should work. Let us see. But you should not remove from between. If you remove this, the name will change and it will throw the error that element not found. So let us check. So again you can see it has clicked on forgotten password. So this is our partial link text locator. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone?
Yep.
Yes.
So let us discuss one more method, which is, suppose I want to get the text. So what is the text present here? Bestseller. Or let me take some other. Suppose this is the login button. So I want to see the HTML code. So if you do like this, right click on the button and click this. If you do like this, you will directly be navigated to that particular element. So you can see we are directly reaching here, right? So if I want to get, uh, you can see this is again a link, anchor tag A, but this time class is also given, right? So if I try to use this class, control F first, search the class, you can see unique class is present. So I can use this class, or you can use this with the help of text as well, right? That is your choice. So let me go with the class and open the website first. So if I open this website, Flipkart, and after that I want to, suppose if I want to click on the button, login button, whatever you want to say, so it will navigate you to some other web page. Find element by dot link. So let me use class name. What is the class name? This is our class name. Let me copy. So this is our class name. So class name I will put here, class name, and after that, this time I do not want to click this, neither I want to send any data. I want to fetch the text. What is the text present here? Okay, so I think it is changing. Let me, So let me take that element which is not changing. Earlier it was coming, giving some other. Okay, so this is the one. I want to basically fetch the text. What is the text? Login is written here. I want to print that in my console. How we can do that? So after identifying the element by any locator, here I am using class name. So you can use any locator which we have discussed. There is one method which is get me the text. So it will simply return you the text. So string text equals to this. And if I try to print it, I will say plus text, right? So if I run this, let us see whether what is the output we are getting. Or let me debug this. Right click, debug as Java application. Okay, so this pop-up we should also handle. So pop-up handling we will see at the last, not at the last, after some lectures. Here I will manually close it, otherwise our test case will fail. Let us see where it has stopped. Okay, so you can see once this line is executed, first it has identified the button, login button with the help of this class name. And I'm using get the text present on the button. So the text which you got is login. This is a text it has fetched. So if you want to get any text present on the web page, you can use getText method. Is it clear how we have to use the getText method? Okay. So let us try this same method on some other website. If I use this Rediff mail, if I open the URL, now instead of this one, I will open the Rediff mail. Okay. Now here there is one box which is availability. So it is a button. So I want to see the HTML code. So right click, or you can do it directly from here. Right click, inspect. Right. So now this is the, I think, button name. This one. Right. So if so, what is the name is present. But if you see this name will change. I think this is present. If I copy this, Control F, class is present. Control F, Control V. So one out of one element is matching. So why I am not using this name is because you see once I will refresh the page, this will change, right? So when we will discuss XPath and CSS, I will come to this point again, how to handle such kind of element, right? If I just refresh it, you will see it will change. So we cannot use name locator here, otherwise our script will fail. You can see now earlier some values coming different. Now you can see 720. If I refresh it again, this will change to some other. Now the value should be 5332. So I will not use this name locator, otherwise it will fail every time. But this seems constant to me. Class name. So Control F, Control B. Only one element, so I can use this. So if I want to get the text in my console output, I can again say driver dot find the element by the help of, we can use class name locator. Provide the class name, and after that if I say get text, and I will catch that in one string variable. And if I debug this program, let us see what this text will contain, whether it will contain check availability or not. So now we are here. What is the value? So it is giving us, I think, something empty value it is giving. It is not giving us any value, and it will also not print, right? It has not printed anything, which means it has not get any text. So can anyone tell me the reason, if they are able to get that, why getText method is not working here?
There should be no text there.
Which one?
There should be no text there. I didn't see the.
No, here you can see the text is present.
Can you go back?
Yeah. Check availability is present. You can see. Okay, so let me tell you. So if you see the difference in the HTML code,
While you're refreshing, the name is changed, right? So I think because of that, text is
no,
not
no,
same.
this is a different, and this check availability is different, right? So it is just a attribute name, that is not an issue. If you see the difference, see it clearly, how this text is present. If I was using getText here, I was getting the text as well. You can see that earlier. If this text is present outside of any attribute, right? You can see this text is not present inside any attribute, right? But if you see this check availability, this is present inside the value attribute, right? So I mean to say that text, whatever the text you want to get, it is not present separately, just like this. Here, this text is not present inside any attribute, so getText method will give you the text if it is outside of any attribute, just like this. But here, the text is present inside this, right? So to get this, as the text is present inside the value attribute, getText method will not going to return you nothing, right? Because it is present inside the value attribute. So this is the reason you are getting empty string and it is not printed anything. So now, to how but somehow if you want to print the you can say value, how you can do that? So there is one more method. So what is the method? GetText is not working, we already seen. So instead of that, I can use one method, which is getAttribute. And what is the attribute? Value. Value is the name of attribute inside which our name is present. You can see here again. Yeah. So value is the name of attribute inside which my value is present. So I am giving this name here inside this method. So it will give me the value of this particular attribute, which is value again. So if I run this now, let us see what it will return. Okay. So if you see after this line, this time what is the text? This is the text it has given us because the text is present inside the value attribute. Similarly, so if I execute this, it will print the text. And if you want to get some other attribute value, you can get any attribute value, just specify the name, right? So if you want to get this value, you can print this by providing name there, right? So it's your choice. Like if I want to get this attribute value, this is very big. Just suppose let us try whether it is giving us. So instead of name, this time I will say on click. So this I want to get fetch the value of this attribute. So if I run this, so you can see everything it has pasted which is present inside that particular attribute. So this is how you can use getAttribute method. Is it clear to everyone? Where the getText will work, you should be clear.
Yes, yes.
Like if I take one more example, you can try google.com. I want to fetch this text, Google search. I want to get this Google search. So if I click this, you will see the HTML code. Again, if you apply getText here, you will not find anything in your output because the actual text is present inside this, right? Or you can take this one as well, but this is the most common one, right? So here again you have to use the get attribute value, then only you will be able to find the text. So you can try applying get text, you will not find anything in your output, but if you apply get attribute value, you will get this text. Is it clear? So if I let me suppose if I take this, so we have discussed two methods, which is get attribute, where you have to use get attribute. If you want to get some attribute value, then you can use, otherwise get text will return you the text. So if I open one more website, and after opening the website, this is our Flipkart, and if I want to enter some data here, so what I can use class, control F, control V, only one element, I can use this class, right? So let me check whether it is not changing every time, otherwise I will not use this, because when you will see some alphanumeric string, it might change. So as of now it is not changing, so that is good. So if I want to enter some data, driver dot find element by dot, I'm using class name, provide the class name, and dot send keys. So I will say mobile. Like if I say Vivo mobile, right? So if I run this, let us see whether it will enter any data or not. Okay, so as of now I will close it manually, but later we will also see how we can handle it through Selenium, right? So it has entered Vivo mobile, but if I want to get the same text, I want to fetch the text present in the text box and print into my console output. So if I try to use get text, let us see whether it will work. So again same line. So this will be same because this is again the same text box, and I want to get the text which I have entered into the text box, and I will print it. I will print after that, and if I debug it, let us see whether get text is going to retrieve the value present in our text box. If not, then we will see some other. First let me check. So I will close the pop-up manually if it appear. So let me close it. Let me close it first. But it has entered Vivo mobile, and after that I want to get this data which I have entered. So if I am using get text, if I run this, again it has not given you any value, right? So which means get text is not going to help us in this case if you want to fetch the text from the text box. So basically what will happen, if you see this, we have discussed one value attribute, if you remember. Like I think it is here, right? Or let me take. So basically, I want to say that whenever, let me write it here, whenever you enter something in text box, most 99% of the time, whenever you enter something in the text box, the value by default will go inside value attribute, which means in that flipkart if I enter mobile, in the flipkart text box if I enter mobile, so by default that mobile will go into value attribute. You will not see this attribute value, but still it will be present inside this. So to fetch the text from the text box, instead of get text, again I will use get attribute. Now you will see it will get with the attribute value because the mobile will be captured inside the value attribute, so I am using get attribute. So after that, so first let me close this, right? So now this is the text, and after entering this will be present inside the value attribute. So if I run this, you can see Vivo mobile. So this is how you can fetch the text present in your text box using. So get text will not going to work. You can try it in other text box as well. So
Sumit, can you show the HTML? Can you show the HTML one more time?
for which one?
Yeah, from where you got the get value, get attribute value.
I am saying that for each and every text box, by default, the value will be present inside our. Let me show. If you see here,
So
if I
we can also write a get text in the bracket title, right? Wherever the title is there, you're searching Vivo mobile, you'll get the value there, right?
title is this one. Why
Yeah,
you are saying title?
yeah. There in the title, you're replacing that. I mean, you're adding that value of Vivo mobile, right? So, oh, I see. I got it. Okay, okay.
You can see every data you are fetching it. So here you are able to see this value. You are able to see this value, but in some text box you will not going to see this value attribute. But then also, there also if you apply the same, you will going to get this same output, which means you are able to fetch it. So it will keep on changing whatever you will write. So this is I am using get attribute value, right? So guys, we will discuss other methods, but in the next class. If anyone have any query, then they can ask. Okay, guys. So thanks for attending the today's session. I will share the recording.